Hey YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you my Dinomist deck profile for the October 2021 format. Now I don't really know why it's October 2021 format when nothing really changed. It's basically just 6 months of the same thing. I wanted to bring you a deck that I really love. I love Dinomist a lot. They're a really cool archetype. Mainly because I love dinosaurs, so I'll never have a problem playing this. I do have a Dino Wrestler and normal Dino deck profile in the makes. I just need to get to them, and then I'm also really excited for that new Dino Rufia archetype. I think that's how it was called. I think that's what it was. Yeah, with the weird counter traps and stuff. It was really cool. Anyway, this deck is Pendulum deck, if you can't tell by our boss monster, in-deck boss monster Rex here. It is a Pendulum deck. It can do pretty well. It's got some, I've put some cool tech cards in here that I know some other people do, and then a couple that I think that I'm one of the few that do. I haven't seen one that uses one of the cards that I run. But anyways, let's go on, get straight on into the deck profile, explain it as we're going. Move the extra deck off to the side. Now to start off, we're going to start with our Dinomist lineup. It's going to be triple Rex, triple Ceratops, triple Brachion, and a double Spinos. Now these are all of your level 5 Dinomists that I run. I decided to run just 2 Spinos because I preferred Rex more as my boss monster. If you prefer the other way around, by all means, drop Rex down or drop any of these 2 down by 1. Put in your 3rd Spinos. I do love Spinos, no gripe against him. I just do believe that Rex is the better choice. Now, Rex is pretty good. Let me just grab it here for you. So, besides his awesome artwork, he can tribute Dinomist monsters to get effects. So he can non-target shuffle something into the deck and gain attack for it. And then the other one is that you contribute a Dinomist to make a second attack on a monster, I do believe. Yeah, on a monster. You normally really never use that effect. If you're going to swing for game, you're normally going to do Spinos and then limiter removal, just because he can double his attack naturally. So you just get 10k. Sorry, not double his attack. He can attack twice. So you just kind of clear board with other stuff and then just swing. Ceratops, free special summon. Brachion, almost a free special summon. It's kind of like a Cyber Dragon, but instead of you controlling no monsters and your opponent controlling some, you just your opponent just needs to have the one with the highest attack. And then Spinos, 2 effects, just kind of like Rex. You have to tribute a Dinomist monster. Can make a second attack during the battle phase, and then can attack your opponent directly. So if you have 2 monsters to tribute for Spinos, and you have limiter removal, that's game. Because it's not one of the effects, you just have to tribute one to activate. Now it's really good. And I would like to note before we move on, so the pendulum effect for the Dinomist actually differ. So the 3s protect destruction by battle or card effect from any of your Dinomist cards. And then the 6s, if something's targeted, you can negate and destroy that card, which is pretty cool. It's nice for protection. For the level 4s, we're going to run triple Terran and just triple Plesios. They are needed to go into the Shark and Toad package in the extra deck. I don't run Stegosaur or Ankylos because I don't think they're that good. If you want to change any of the monster lineup to add them because you love them, by all means, go ahead and do so. I'm not going to stop you. Next, we're playing a Symphonic Warrior package. This one I've seen pretty standard in a lot of them. Just for the sole fact that it helps you get out your Nova Infinity. The triple guitar, the 1 mic. You don't want to see mics. If you see them, you've always got scale. Granted, he does go to 4 if you don't have guitar in the other one, so that is something to note. I would keep it more for like discard fodder for anything, just because it's you don't want to just set it and not have guitar in the other scale, because it'll really block you out. Run 2 Deskbot 01. This is for Auroradon. Unfortunately, I don't have Halki Fibrex in the extra deck right now, as of making this video. So whenever I get to the extra deck, I'll let you know what I would take out for it. But this will let you go into your Herald and your Dawn Dragster like really easily. And then for the last 6 monsters of the deck, can be 2 different hand traps, but I play 3 Spell Canceller and 3 Veiler. Like I've said in my previous profiles, I play Veiler because it's cheap and it's budget, and right now it's actually pretty decent. And then the Spell Canceller hurts a lot of decks. If you can go first and you can get off Spell Canceller, you're pretty golden, and then next turn you can just overlay into Nova Infinity and just start taking stuff. Besides that, that's really it for the monsters. Oh, I did forget to explain Terran and Plesios quickly. Plesios, you know, their pendulum effects do the same thing for their pendulum scale. Terran, when he destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add any Dinomist card. You normally do it to add Charge or Howling, because Charge you can just activate and then add anything. And then Plesios, it makes all your opponent's monsters lose attack and defense equal to 100 times every single Dinomist card you control. So that's your Scales, Charge, Howling, and then any amount of monsters you have. So it can rack up pretty high, can really help Rex and Spinos really swing and get over some of these difficult monsters to hit. But anyway, this is the monster lineup for the deck. It is, you know, pretty malleable, I would say. If you don't want to run a Auroradon, you can always take out the Deskbots. I like it because you can run a couple Synchros in the deck. Besides that, though, that is going to be it for the monsters. Let's go ahead and get straight on into the spells. Now, there are a handful of spells. I will say that the most important one is probably going to be your Dinomist Charge. It is very crucial. It basically makes it so that you're running 3 more of every single one of your Dinomist monsters. I am only running 2 limiter removal right now. I know it's probably really dumb because this is a very beat-down deck. 2 limiter removal. I probably am going to bump it up to 3 and remove this card that I'm about to show you next, which is 2 Pendulum Treasure. Now, since Dawn of Majesty came out, I did want to try Pendulum Treasure just to see if it would make any difference to the deck, and honestly, it's not really doing much. Personally, I would put a 3rd limiter removal in and possibly like Rescue Hamster, because Rescue Hamster can really help make some good plays. If you have something in the extra deck and you haven't gone into your Nova Infinity yet, like say you have Spinos, Rex, Brachion, or Ceratops, you can just get, and you still have the cards, the other 2 copies of that name in deck, you can go ahead and just make your Nova Infinity. It's perfect. And then the last spell in the deck that I'm running is just a Cold by the Grave. It just kind of helps protect your plays. You try to charge, get your ad off, you can just called it and, you know, keep going. Crossout Designator is coming out. If that's something you would want to try to run, you can. I don't see how... I don't really see a lot of Pendulum decks being able to run it because they really need their monsters. But like I said, all these 2 spells are pretty much self-explanatory, the Dinomist Charge and the limiter removals. And then the Treasure is the one that I'm kind of hesitant on right now. Replace it with the 3rd limiter removal and then a Hamster, or you could put your 3rd Spinos in. That is actually a good option as well. You know, that's it for the spells, and just for the traps, only running 3, and that is a playset of Dinomist Howling. Now, Howling is a fantastic card. You flip it, you get Scales, as long as you don't have, you know, as long as your pendulum zones are open. And then you can tribute a Dinomist monster to spin something back to the hand, which is awesome. Since it's a trap card, it is a quick effect, so you can do it on your opponent's turn to interrupt. You can do it on your turn to get rid of problematic cards or to bait out negates. It can really, really help and swing a game in your favor. But it is a really good card. Also, back in the spells, I did forget, charge doesn't just add. If a Dinomist monster were to go to the extra deck face up, you can actually add it back to the hand once per turn. So it's a hard once per turn on that, but it is a really good effect because it can give you a normal summon and then do some more shenanigans and whatnot. That is it for the main deck, though. It is a 40-card main deck. You know, pretty standard. I typically don't run anything besides 40. I just really like the consistency that 40 gives, and the fact that I don't have to spend more for more cards. Lightsworn's really the only deck that I would ever contemplate running more than 40. Well, actually, there are some other ones that you could, but Lightsworn's is one of the few that I can think of off the top of my head that I would contemplate running more than 40. For the extra deck, though, now this can be pretty malleable. My extra deck right now is just a Mistar Boy, a Nightmare Phoenix, my Auroradon, my Unicorn, a Zephyra Metaltron, and Borreload. So these are my links that I'm running. You can pretty much run any link 4. I just had a Borreload at the time whenever I made the deck, so I just tossed it in here. You could put Access Code in, Avermax, Boral Sword to be more OTK, which is actually probably a better option for this deck, honestly, just based on what it wants to accomplish. Now, like I said earlier with the Halki Fibrax, if you wanted to, I would contemplate dropping the Nightmare Phoenix. There aren't many that decks right now that Phoenix is going to really hurt. The Halki Fibrax will really just let you go into the couple synchros that I'll be showing here in just a moment. But as for that, those are going to be the Link monsters. We'll go into the Ixies now. So I'm only running 1 toad. You can run 2 by dropping, you know, the Dweller, the Arc, or the Dweller or the Arc. I would contemplate dropping the Arc over the Dweller. Dweller can hurt a lot of decks, especially because it's super easy to make. Like, this deck is probably one of my favorite decks to play, just because, 1, it's really easy to. It's almost common sense. And then 2, it uses almost every single extra deck mechanic except for Fusion. So I'm using Synchros, Ixies, and Links, which is awesome. I love decks like that. It's kind of like DDDs, but DDDs basically use everything. And then, like I said before, the Nova, the Infinity, and then for the last 3 cards of the extra deck is your Arclight and your Dawn Dragster for your Auroradon combo. And then the last card is the Metaphys Horus. Now, this is a card I just recently teched in here. Haven't got to do a lot of playtesting with it yet. Decently old card. I think it came out like 2014. But if you use a Pendulum monster and an effect monster to synchro it, target one other face-up card on the field, negate that target's effects, and then if you use a Pendulum monster, your opponent chooses 1 monster they control and gives it to you, but it can't attack this turn, which is kind of busted. Especially because how easy this is to make, because you run so many level 5s, and the desk bots, you're going to have a pretty easy time. If you want to drop it, you can. I like it. I think it's cool. As for, you know, these other links, like I said, big boss monster, a big link boss monster. The Zephyr Metaltron, that's also a new card that I've been testing when I put in the Metaphys Horus as well. And then the Unicorn's pretty mandatory. Same with the Mistar Boy. It just gives great link arrows. And it's literally the easiest link monster in this deck to make. I think, probably, maybe, because you do run some that aren't water. So actually scratch that. Right now, Phoenix is the easiest one to make. If you take out the Phoenix for the Halki Fibrax, Mistar Boy is definitely the easiest to make. And like I said, if you do want to drop the Arc for a second Toad, by all means you can. I normally do have a lot of situations where I can use Shark's effect twice, which is awesome. But that is going to wrap it up for the deck today. I do hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a like. Leave a like down below. Really lets me know that you enjoyed what you saw. And don't forget to comment and subscribe for more future content. I would like to hear any of your suggestions of ways to change the deck, cards to tech in, and so forth. If you have any deck profiles that you'd like to see on the channel, let me know. I'll see what I can do. But, you know, that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.